for another palliatives again. How long will you be assessing the palliative? That is what. So
The federal government is going to release some grains from the national storage to also cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. This is all trying to make people understand, well, I see your pains, I feel what you're feeling, and I'm trying to make it better for you. You think that is going to help? Because maybe after the palliatives, we get to realize that grains will be coming in for Nigerians.
yes, that may help. Okay, the grains. It depends on what the grains are meant for. Are they meant for further to be used in the agricultural sector, or they are meant for consumption, or that is one other thing we need to determine. If the grains are for the farmers, okay, it means that if they access these grains for free, after production, when they harvest, the prices may come down. Okay, but that is just an assumption, because as a rational being, when we want to fix our prices, we don't consider what it took us to produce, right? We consider what the economy is saying, the demand. Ordinarily, like the economy, with kind of economy we have, the process of demand and supply determines the price. That is why you see that when there's much demand for a product, rice, garri, you see the price going high. 3 months back, I bought a basin of garri for 6,500. Today, it's 12,000 naira. You see the difference? It does not align with the cost of production, because what are they using to produce it? But they will look at it, how many people are looking for this thing? There are so much. Okay, because of that, let me increase the price. It's just, it's in line with the forces of demand and supply. The higher the price, and the higher the demand, the higher the price. So the lower the demand. So if, supposing we all come together and say, now the prices are too high, we are not buying, nobody is buying, you see the price will gradually come down, because they won't be able to sell. They will be forced to say, okay, let us push down the price so that we can sell the product. That is how it is. So the grains, if the grains are meant for further production, what they think, if the farmers get it, it will even help to reduce their own poverty. Because the people in our local rural communities, the farmers are the ones that are really poor. They're the ones that produce the food we consume. We're supposed to be grateful to them. You understand? So if we must show appreciation, let them assess the grain, produce further if they can use it for further production. But if the grains are for consumption, it will still amount to what I said concerning the rice also. At the end of the day, after the use of such grains, are you going to go back to government and say, bring another round of palliative? How long will government continue to do that? It means that they are moving the subsidy from the petroleum sector to the food sector. You understand?
Now, you talked about demand and, of course, the purchase
Supply,
power
yes.
supply. Now, I just remembered the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria did lament that demand has drastically reduced. But the problem is, as much as demand has reduced, prices have skyrocketed given the economic realities in the country. Now, I did earlier say that the federal government earmarked 48% of the 5 billion for grants. If businesses get these grants in these current economic realities, do you think it is going to help the business owners and even the consumers?
Of course, if the businesses get the grant, right, to some extent, it will help the business owners. But I don't know about the consumers. You understand? But the grants are, when they access, they use the grants to improve on their businesses, and also, if after production, will the grant cost them to sell their product at lower prices than they expect or the desire? That is the thing. So at the end of the day, discover that it is the firms, you understand, the firms, the businesses that gains, that benefit from the grants. But you and I that are the end consumers, we end up still buying the things at higher prices. What is it? But it's a good step in the right direction. Those grants are even better than the palliatives we are talking about. You understand? It's better than the palliatives we are talking about, because when they get the grants, it means that they have more money to invest. When it comes, they can employ 2 or 3 more persons, you understand, and improve on or increase their production capacity, which means they will be producing more. And that by producing more, the products will be available, and the prices in the long run, when the products are more, they are available. When supply exceeds demand, what happens? The price falls. So the prices will fall gradually, and you and I will benefit. That's the only way, the only place we can benefit from. But if we are waiting for the consumers to benefit directly from the grant that is being given out by government, then it will not be achievable in the long run.
Obviously, we see that this is a very, very serious situation and it's getting so much attraction and all of that. But now let's also look at this. If we look at what the federal government is doing right now and a whole lot of backlash, you have said it is not, it might not totally cushion the effects of the removal of petrol subsidy. Now, you have also suggested that alternatively, the revamping of the refineries would have been better. But we are looking at short-term solutions because I believe that is what the government is looking at. Revamping the refineries would be probably a long-term solution. So, on the short term, what else do you think the government would have done to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal?
On the short term, what I felt the government would have done was to, for now, try to maintain that subsidy, okay, till they put all the modalities in place, okay. After the modalities have been put in place, they can now remove it. Hope you and I would have felt it this much, okay. I was discussing with a friend last time, and I told him that I sat down, I calculated how much I spend in fueling my vehicle for a month, and guess what? It was about 187,000 naira, which is below my monthly income. Okay, all my savings over time, I'm now putting them into my needs. You understand? So what the government ought to have done was, since the facilities were not in place, the refineries were not working yet, we are taking time, start the revamping of the refineries, start the maintenance, even if it's one that comes up first, okay. Then gradually they remove. You can say, okay, the subsidy, we are splitting this into two, okay. Let's split it into two. If we're paying 1 trillion before, now we're paying 500 billion, okay. A gradual thing. You understand? It would have been better off for us. And also the marketers, I would say, with all due respect, I would say that at a point they realized the vulnerability of government. They started taking advantage of the government, right? Because you see, the marketers in Nigeria, they import these products for sale, okay. Now they may import, let's say they import, I don't know how they measure it, let's say 1 million metric tons, for example. Some of these products are moved en route to our neighboring countries for sale, and do you know what? They still give the federal government a total cost of that importation, which means that even the ones they sell in other countries at regulated price there, they still collect the subsidy from government. So that is the problem. Those are the things that the government are supposed to check, put these things in place. I want to know the total consumption rate of fuel in Nigeria, maybe over a year. With that, they determine what they can say, okay, this is what we can give out to you people. That's it. In the first place, is the government even supposed to wait for importers to import the product? The government is supposed to take charge of that. They let the importers purchase from government. That is how what was obtained with many countries. So to me, I feel that the removal of subsidy was not timely. Like I said before, I've always been an advocate of the removal of subsidy, but I expected that the government of the day was supposed to put every modality in place so that we, the ordinary person, citizens, will not suffer. Because now we are suffering because of the subsidy.
Well, unfortunately, this is where we are. Unfortunately, rather, this is where we are, and it's our reality. We have to live by it. Now, away from the federal government's palliative, some state governments have also rolled out their own measures. Some have made provisions for means of mobility, and maybe some have reduced work days for staff and all of that. What is your assessment of the efforts of the state governments to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal?
The state governments, I would say, I would want to commend them. They've been trying, honestly. They've been trying. All these things were done to reduce the pain on their citizens or the people that reside in the state. Like the River State government, they provided free vehicles, free buses to convey people to, and people were excited. But what I don't know is the sustainability. The sustainability, that is what where the problem is. And the attitude of some of these persons to work. You understand? People, over the media, the other day, I heard people complaining about the rudeness of the driver this, and you understand, these are some of the bottlenecks that we have to face. But the state governments are trying. Some states, like you said, if I'm not mistaken, in Edo State, Kogi State, I think they reduced their work days from 5 to 3 days. Okay, but let's remember that the pressure will be much on the people, on the workers, because those things you're supposed to accomplish within 5 days, you accomplish within 3 days. But they're giving you 80 days or the days does not mean that the work you won't do it. So that is it. But it's a good move, it's a good effort. I really want to commend them. They have tried. And I'm equally encouraging those that have not done anything to try and look for a way to reduce the burden on especially the civil servants, because their salaries are minute, and the cost of everything, not only now in this case, not only the fuel itself, the cost of everything, transportation has skyrocketed, foodstuffs, basic needs, all. So it's a burden to everyone.
Yeah, and we just hope that the government to keep doing their best to cushion the effects of all of these on Nigerians. Now, let's look at the palliatives and stuff. In recent times, we've seen the police have arrested, DSS have arrested some officials, SEMA officials, State Emergency Management Agency officials, and like the Nasarawa State Assembly have set up a committee to investigate the allegation that some officials have diverted these palliatives that are meant for the poor and vulnerable Nigerians in the society. Now, as much as most people say that this is not enough, the little that the government has released is being diverted. Where lies the hope of the poor and the vulnerable in our society?
See, ordinarily, okay, it is the nature of an average man to be greedy, to be selfish. That is how it is. If you look at the profile of these people diverting this thing, they have enough, you understand, but they want more. So a man is always in the quest of acquiring more. If they've caught some people, they've apprehended some persons, let them pass judgment on them. You understand? That I always say that if somebody has erred, pass judgment, sentence him, or do what you need to do so that other people will learn from it. But at the end of the day, this case will be thrown by the corner, and nobody will hear about it again. So that's God. If you are a Christian, pray to God. If you are a Muslim, pray to Allah.